Here we go. Princeton wearing the dark uniforms. And they get the basketball first. This is a team that won 21 games, but were bounced in the semifinals by Harvard in the Ivy tournament, which only features the top 4 teams. And Steph, you just talked about Ashley Chia as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One for Iowa State. They start 4 sophomores. Emily Ryan, though, the 5th-year senior, is a terrific point guard who makes them go.
Bill Finley talking about Emily Ryan, saying she is a coach's dream, lays it on the line. She's been playing through some pain most of the year, has been limited in her minutes, but she's going to be instrumental, as we saw an outstanding defensive play by Olivia Hutcherson.
And there you take a look at Princeton's starting lineup. You mentioned Hutcherson and Parker Hill, the only senior in that starting lineup as well. Boy, the class of 2027 is good. I mean, I know WNBA head coach with Indiana here. I mean, that's going to be one heck of a class, because the sophomores all across the board in this country, there's some great ones.
There sure are some great ones who are impacting their teams, who are impacting winning, and have since the day they stepped foot on campus.
Including Audie Crooks. Princeton going to need these to drop. It's a little bit too strong. Shot by Belker, who is hitting 38% from distance. There is Crooks. Getting it over now to Ryan, the most assists in the history of this program. Addie Brown, a little bit too strong. Now, Tall. Getting it out to Hill, who's only taken 2 threes all year. That's why she passed it up.
Well, you're going to see a steady dose of these pick and rolls and mid-range pull-ups by Chia, trying to bring Audie Crooks out of the paint.
Yes, it's always a strategy, and that's something Bill Finley talked about with his adjustments, is how will they play Audie Crooks. Kelsey Jones knocking down the 3 from the very famous Jones family. Out of Iowa City, but a steady pipeline into Iowa State.
Kelsey Jones has started the last 9 games because of that ability to stretch the floor, knock down this 3, what she gives him on both ends, and that's a great cut by Chia.
That's what you expect to see with a team like Princeton. Chia first team All-Ivy, unanimous this year. And there's Audie.
You know, it's really difficult when Audie Crooks gets on the block or below the block that you're not going to stop her, certainly. Ball pressure has to be key. You got to make those passes difficult. You got to use your length on the interior. Try to make her shoot over the top.
But the key, right, is try to keep the pass from reaching her at all. And there's Chia with the bucket. And you're going to see she had a good little reaction after she hit the shot. She's a lot of flash out there. Sophomore from LA. Now inside to Crooks. Just unstoppable. You're right, when she gets the ball there.
Well, and she does such a good job of understanding where she is on the floor, using the glass, finding the right angles.
Parker Hill guarding her, listed at 6'4". Crooks with the rebound. She leads her team in scoring, rebounding. 60% from the floor. Ryan, there you go. Terrific pass to find Brown.
It's exactly what Emily Ryan does. I mean, she is the consummate point guard. She understands how to manipulate defense, how to get her teammates involved.
Ryan, a senior from Claflin, Kansas. Hometown of Jackie Stiles. And there's the little push shot for Parker Hill. Again, the only senior that starts for this team and gets appreciable minutes. Honorable mention All-Ivy this year. I think Addie Brown's feeling it early.
And what a luxury it is to have for Bill Finley to have a player like Addie Brown, whose versatility, you can play her really 1 through 4. She'll play some point guard tonight, some point forward, but she's the perfect complement to Audie Crooks because she can spread the floor, because she can play off the bounce.
Block by Jones. Ryan trying to get it into Crooks, and it's kicked.
Well, every time down the floor, Audie Crooks is going to get a touch, and you might have to stay a little longer if you're Chia down there. Stay in front for a little bit, force a next pass, but how about Parker Hill with the answer on the other end? She's a player who has continued to step up her game in conference play, averaging just under 10 points a game in the Ivy League, has really gained confidence offensively.
Getting a lot more minutes this year. Princeton lost a lot of talent from last year's squad, including Caitlin Shen, who now plays for UConn as a grad transfer, and the Cyclones strike with Sydney Harris. Chia gets the screen, a little off balance. The ball goes to Iowa State.
Well, Parker Hill going for this rebound right here. Looks like her legs get tied up as she goes to outlet, and just opportunistic for Sydney Harris to get the easy two.
Harris at Iowa State, her third school in as many years, as Princeton has made a couple of subs. Tabitha Amanze, a 6'4" junior forward, is in. Do have some depth in the post position, and we expect to see quite a few of them play, trying to keep Crooks at bay, but Audie right now is taking a breather herself. Short, rebounded by Harris.
Well, Bill Finley told us he wants to try to push tempo. He wants to get out. And that doesn't always mean scoring in fast break points, but it means putting pressure on the defense to get back and to find white jerseys.
Williams was shut down by Amanze on that shot attempt.
And I like this, getting Amanze a few minutes before Audie Crooks comes back in the ballgame. Get her involved in the flow.
Slicing through the defense. Tall, unable to get it to fall. Crooks will come in at the next whistle. She's at the scorer's table. And with Ryan, and
the step back three. Pam, we're talking about a player at 6'2", and Addie Brown, who's playing the 4 position, who is virtually like a guard, a 4-guard offense for this Iowa State Cyclone team. You know, you see that at the next level, you know, oftentimes in the W and even in the NBA, where those traditionally what have been power forward positions play with the ball in their hands a little bit more.
Brown is that kind of player. She's off to a great start with their team up 7.
Just a little bit of step back action right here. Addie Brown knocking down the 3.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is one heck of a reaction. Princeton, the last team to get in, the last at large. That was the big question. Could the Ivy get 3 in? And gosh darn it, they did it. Columbia, who will play Washington and Chapel Hill in her first 4, and then Carla Berrubi's Tigers, the last of the last.
They were sweating a little bit sitting in there, and they had to wait a long time to hear their name, but certainly happy to be here, but not enough to be happy to be here, right? Want to compete, want to come out and give a show.
And Carla Berrubi told us earlier today she had a good feeling that they would get in there, thought that they deserved it, and the Ivy really, talk about a top-heavy league. It's the top 3 of that 8-team league. Columbia, Harvard, who won the tournament, and Princeton really doing some damage, and they all got in for the first time ever, 3 Ivies.
And they beat up on each other throughout the course of the season, all had really good net ratings.
Princeton, their only 2 losses in the league during the regular season were to Columbia. They swept Harvard before Harvard got them in the semifinals of Ivy Madness, which is what they call the 4-team tournament. Crooks, good luck stopping that.
And Audie Crooks' left shoulder dominates. So scouting report to get to the left shoulder, try to make her go to a counter move. She hasn't had to do it early in the ball game.
It's a 9-0 run now for the Cyclones. And that's a travel. Princeton has gone 4 minutes without a bucket.
I mean, out-of-bounds play, it's going to be designed to get Audie Crooks a touch, and she does such a good job of getting position, of getting to her advantage, which is getting to that left shoulder. Now, certainly she's added to her game and her ability to go over that right shoulder to shoot that little fadeaway, but that's the comfort zone, the left shoulder turn.
She had forced that turnover. Princeton just hitting 29% of their shots as Chia has one go out of bounds. In for the Cyclones, Ariana Jackson from Des Moines. A starter comes back in for Reagan Wilson, one of the freshmen on this team wearing that mask. She broke her nose way back in the fall during practice. They slapped a mask on her and she went right back out and practiced.
Like 10 minutes later into practice.
Yeah, it's a tough kid. Has been wearing that mask all season long. Jackson left it short, rebound by Hill. Comes Chia. Way too strong by Belker.
And Princeton a little bit impatient offensively right now. They're taking the first shot that they can get, really not forcing Iowa State to guard multiple actions or multiple sides of the floor.
Some contact but no foul call. Crooks is trailing the play, and Princeton finally gets a basket. They've gone about 5.5 minutes without one before Tall delivered.
And one of the things that Carla Berube talked to us about in shoot-around today was we want to play with pace. We want to play fast. We haven't been able to do that in the Ivy League because of teams pressuring for 40 minutes, but that's an easy way for them to get some buckets.
That's kind of the MO for Princeton, right? That they play slowly. They don't score a lot of points, as you mentioned, just 67 per game, which is the lowest for any at-large team that made the tournament this year. But she says she would like to get things going, but they kill some clocks on the defensive end, some shot clocks, so that shortens the game a little bit. About a second between the two clocks here now. They need a shot. Brown, the extra pass into Crooks. He couldn't get it to go. And there should be some more time left with the shot clock violation. All right, the quarter has been called over, even though there was a shot clock violation. With some time left on the clock. Iowa State up by 7. Iowa State with a nice run to finish out that first quarter. Princeton hit 4 of their first 8 shots, but then went 1 for 10 for the rest of the quarter. Meanwhile, Iowa State shooting 50%.
Yeah, this is a really good defensive team in Princeton. I mean, they're 31st in the nation in scoring defense, but it's tough to defend right under the rim, and Audie Crooks does such a good job of getting her position, and there's nothing Princeton can do about it.
Bill Fenley is 1 win away from 800 in his career. Only Gino Auriemma and Wes Moore have more wins among active coaches in the NCAA. Again, this is his 23rd, or his 30th season and 23rd NCAA appearance.
That was a great offensive possession for Princeton. Really got back to doing what they do, which is playing on both sides of the floor, running a lot of off-ball screening action, facilitating through the post-up as well, and Parker Hill able to go to work.
Brown over Hill for the bucket. Brown now with 9 points, averaging just over 15 points per game. Second behind Crooks. Into single digits, and that is the first foul that has been called in this game.
great job right here. Parker Hill, she's looking to see what happens and how Iowa State defends the split. She realizes she's got one-on-one, so she goes to work. And then on the other end, there was certainly an answer from Addie Brown.
But Brown off to a great start, committed that foul, sorry.
That was one of the things that towards the end of the first quarter, we noticed quick shots for Princeton, not really doing what they do best in terms of working the offense, running a lot of off-ball screening action. So a couple of good possessions, and they got points on the board.
Tall with a couple of free throws to get them to within 5. Emily Ryan. Running the point now in her 5th year. Brooks is out of the ball game, but we'll check in the next whistle. Ryan with the bounce pass and the defense by Hill. Lisa Williams comes up with the rebound. Brown thought about it. Instead, put it on the deck. Offense looking different with Crooks not out there. And the ball is turned over. 5 turnovers now for Fenley's squad. And she's back. Audie Crooks. 6 points in the first quarter, 3 of 5 from the floor. Belker gets it over to her running mate, Chia. Got a good look at it. And the ball is off of Iowa State, so 20 seconds to shoot for the Tigers.
And those are the ones, if you're Princeton, that you've got to make, right? The open shots, they're not going to get a lot of wide open looks. You got to be able to knock them down.
Reagan Wilson in a massive check back in. Chia has 56 threes, now 57 on the season. That leads her team. Belker going right at Crooks and puts it in off the glass.
It's a great take by Sky Belker. Iowa State plays the baseline out of bounds in 2-3 zone, and oftentimes if you can get a ball reversal, you don't settle for a quick jump shot, you can get those driving lanes.
Belker started every game last year as a freshman. Starting lineup again this season. Only a 3-point game. Crooks off the rim. Belker gets the miss.
Great work by Parker Hill on the defensive end. Really made Audie Crooks work her position, made her rush into her shot.
Ball tips, so it stays with Princeton. Yeah, Parker Hill has done a great job defensively. As you mentioned, has not yet picked up a foul.
And you've got to stay active. You can't allow Audie Crooks to feel where you are and to get her body on you. You got to stay active as Fadima Tall gets 2.
Right off of the inbounds play, and Princeton outscoring Iowa State 8-2 in this quarter. 10-2 run if you go back to the end of the first. They've been down by as many as 9, and the Princeton defense continues to turn them over. That is good work again by Belker, just taking her defender off the bounce and drawing the foul. Parker and Chia, both of them from Los Angeles, knew each other. They're friends before they even got to Princeton. NCAA Women's Championship, just keep it on ESPN, every game streaming as well. First and second rounds getting underway Friday through Monday. This is her first 4 game. This is the first of the first 4 games. Coming from the campus of Notre Dame. Winner of this game gets Michigan, who took about a 2.5-hour bus ride down from Ann Arbor to get into town today. Looking forward to seeing them play. Talk about some sophomores. They They're a team that has a lot of young talent as well.
They sure do, and two outstanding freshmen as well.
Including Silas Swords. Relying on underclassmen. A lot of teams certainly in this first and second round site. And Iowa State has not scored in 3.5 minutes, during which time they've turned the ball over 3 times. Chia caught up by Crooks, a little off-balance shot. What a great second effort by Hutcherson.
Well, that's Hutcherson. The last couple of possessions have been able to keep possessions alive, crashing the offensive glass, able to get 2 right there. She's one of those utility players, an X factor.
9-0 run. There's a block shot by Amanze. And here come the Tigers. A little bit too strong. Hansford comes up with the rebound. And the Cyclones trying to get themselves righted. I wonder if Bill Fenley, one of the things that he talked to us about is when you start a game, about the officiating. We're not seeing a lot of fouls. Princeton with some aggressive defense. It's a great plays by people like Hutcherson.
Yeah, I mean, this is an outstanding individual effort. Offensive glass, keeping it alive, getting to 2. Princeton on a 9-0 run.
We are back here at Notre Dame. Melton McGraw in the studio for us. Spent a lot of time in this building. Great success, and we'll see Notre Dame on Friday. Right now, Iowa State desperately needing a bucket. This is the person to get it for you. Crooks was calling for the ball when she got it. They had gone it 4.5 minutes without scoring, and that goes in. Friendly roll for Nowicki. His sister Chet just graduated from Princeton. There's the first foul. They got Amanze.
After the timeout, great job here. Just clear out the backside. And notice that Princeton had been fronting Audie Crooks. Clear out the backside, throw it up for her to go to work.
Amanze picks up the first foul called on a Princeton player. Crooks just a 69% free throw shooter. One of the things that I talked to Bill Fenley about as she is working become a better rebounder, a better free throw shooter. And he admitted to us that he was, she came from a small town in Iowa, Algona, Iowa. It's right at the Minnesota border, and didn't have a lot of top-level competition before she got to Iowa State. There's a charge, so back-to-back fouls now.
Yeah, and played in a smaller AAU circuit, and certainly knew that she was going to be impactful, but I don't think he could have foreseen how impactful she would be right away. I mean, fastest player in ISU history to 1,000 points, 3rd fastest in the Big 12. She's been incredible early and continues to get better and continues to understand the areas of growth. And you mentioned the free throw shooting, the rebounding, defensively.
Think of all the great players that have come through Iowa State as Addie Brown gets into double figures. And she got to 1,000 points faster than all of them.
Well, and 3rd fastest in the Big 12, and that's Courtney Paris and Sheila Lambert, 2 Big 12 legends.
I think he was a bit surprised that she was able just to step in as a young freshman and make such a big impact right away. Gives a lot of credit to Audie's mom, Michelle Cook, keeping her grounded, and she's just a joyful person. And he told us he really enjoys this team.
Yeah, he said this is one of the favorite teams that he's ever coached, and they're competitive, they work. He's had some veteran teams over the last few years. This really a young core. And there's sometimes something that energizes a coach when you've got to start teaching again, right? When you've got youthful enthusiasm, when you've got joyful players who want to get better every day, as Ashley Chia, speaking of joyful players.
Taken away by Tall. who has the swim move to get around Brown. Princeton can set up as we go towards 3 minutes left to go. And this Princeton team, no surprise that they're just continuing to fight.
Fadimatal's got such great awareness on the defensive end. And she's guarding Addie Brown, who's the second most lethal player on the floor, right, for Iowa State. And she has the awareness to just get her hand in that driving lane. Right there, she does it again and forces a tough shot.
Here comes Princeton with Jackson trailing. 5-on-4. Chia got it!
That's a great extra pass by Fadimatal. She probably had an open three, but passed it up to get the best shot on the floor.
Chia now with a dozen. Princeton has 20 points in this quarter. The Cyclones just 7. Look over Coach Carla Berube. They got that rebound, and she's giving that signal, go, go. She really does want them to try to get down the floor as quickly as possible. Good mid-range look, and it falls. It's a 9-0 run after the Hutcherson basket. Iowa State can shoot themselves back into it, but just a one and done. Boy, Parker Hill doing a really good job defensively, and that's her 7th rebound. Belker with the miss, tapped out by Hutcherson, and it results in another three for Chia. Princeton taking advantage of the hustle plays and the second chance opportunities.
X factor, right, keeping plays alive. She got springs right there, getting up, keeping it alive, right? And she's been known to be a defensive stopper, right? She's been known to be that X factor, that energy player.
Brooks way outside, now goes into the lane. Brown is bottled up, shot clock dwindling. Another great defensive stand for the Tigers.
Well, Ashley Chia shoots at 36% from the three. This is a great extra pass by Tall, finding Chia. And then the hustle play. Hutcherson keeping the ball alive, and Chia loves those big moments. You see the energy knocking down another big one.
Ashley Chia, a sophomore from LA, a subject of a documentary that will be released in the next few days. We'll get into that later on, but boy, what a spark plug she has been. The run is now 12-0. And the step back for Tall. Fadimatal joins Chia in double figures. Iowa State desperately trying to finish this quarter off. It's been dismal so far for them. And they don't do it. In the second quarter, Princeton outscored Iowa State 27-7. They turn a 9-point deficit into a 13-point lead. Let's go to Kelsey and company. Very impressive ending to that first half. Pam Ward and Stephanie White joining you from South Bend, and they had gone 105 straight quarters where they scored at least 10 points. That was snapped when they only scored 7 in the second quarter. Brown and Crooks combined 9 of 18 from the floor. The rest of the team just 2 for 10. And Princeton, you mentioned it, boy, hustle plays, all the extra effort. Hill has been great on both sides of the ball.
She has been, and Parker Hill has been exceptional in conference play and really taking it to another level. Her activity level defensively has been good. You just see how she continues to work and make things difficult.
Ball goes over to Princeton. Let's check out today's game track brought to you by Invesco QQQ. We mentioned Crooks and Brown doing most of the work, but Ashley Chia, but what an entertaining player.
She sure is. A lot of energy. I knew she was going to have to be big time tonight, not just from a scoring standpoint, but running the team, setting the tone on the defensive end of the floor as well.
The sophomore averaged 6 points per game last year, has more than doubled that this season, and that is Ashley.
When you think about what Ashley Chia a year ago playing behind and with Caitlin Chen and really learning from her, and you know, now it's on her shoulders, right? To be that leader, to be that facilitator and scorer on the floor, and she has taken advantage.
And Princeton, that's Hutcherson with her second block of the game. They had 4 blocks in the first half.
Well, this is how Iowa State started the ball game. An Emily Ryan attack, and Hutcherson, same result as that very first play.
Hutcherson last year scored 4 points all season. That's the bread and butter for Iowa State to get it into Crooks. Coming off a 32-point game in their last contest. That was a quarterfinal loss to Baylor in the Big 12. Ryan came over to bother Hill, and she just turned around and didn't get the prayer answered. Addie Brown started off so great in this game. They're trying to get into Crooks. Iowa State has 21 seconds to shoot.
But Parker Hill's ability to keep moving, to not allow herself to get sealed. After those first couple of possessions early in the ballgame, she's been much better, but Addie Brown knocks down a big-time 3.
Her second 3 of the game. Iowa State had a 9-point lead before Princeton went on a tear in the second quarter. Tall ran into Ryan. Emily Ryan gives out the primal screen because she forced the turnover coming over on the double.
Oh, and Emily Ryan is playing off of Olivia Hutcherson, and when the double team comes or when she turns her back, Hutcherson has to cut that baseline. They've got to be able to make them pay.
This is what Iowa State certainly can do. They can shoot themselves back into games with 3s. That's Jackson with her first points.
They sure can, and that's off of a dead ball. You got to find the matchups, not just in transition, but especially on dead balls.
Belker did not shoot the ball well in the first half for Princeton. Hill with the extra pass. Hutcherson too strong. And here's Ryan, 5th-year senior, trying to play at least another game. Kicked, 20 seconds to shoot.
Emily Ryan just seeing up the floor in transition. There's a miscommunication. Parker Hill has to come out, and Ariana Jackson knocks it down. And this is the Iowa State team that averages over 8 3-pointers a ball game.
And a foul after the shot on Princeton. As Chia gathers everyone in. It's an 8-0 run for the Cyclones. Belker just picked up her first foul. Brown again. Wide left. Hill quickly gets it over to Chia. Princeton's gone over 2.5 minutes without a score. Ryan able to take it away on the baseline. Ryan in the first half, no points, 1 assist and 2 turnovers, and has come out on a mission as Hutcherson steps through and gets fouled.
Well, and Emily Ryan ball security is critical for Iowa State. In their wins, she has half the amount of turnovers that she does in their losses. And you can see Bill Finley saying it right away, slow down. Allow Audie Crooks to get in position and allow us to get into offense.
Sydney Harris steps in. As we remind you that coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Hutcherson at the line. One of the 4 sophomores who start with the senior Hill who was trying to stop the sophomore Audie Crooks. Not that time.
No, and you're not going to when she gets 2 feet in the paint, when she gets a clean catch.
Crooks now with 13, averaging 23 per game. One and done. Here comes Ryan. Trying to get it into Crooks. That looked like a soccer goalkeeper save there with the kick by Tall.
This is a good job of getting her position, maintaining her position, and Emily Ryan delivering a perfect pass. And if you're Parker Hill, you've got to stay active, right? As long as Audie Crooks is on the floor, you've got to stay active on the defensive end.
Belker almost got it taken away. Ryan comes up with the board.
Sky Belker's shots have been a little short. I mean, she came into this with the last 3 games averaging over 20 points a ball game. Been a little short.
Brown this time with the 2. Belker has missed 7 of her 8 shots. Coming in averaging over 20 points per game in games in March. Chia calling for the ball. Driving on Ryan. Just not the right angle. Ryan to Crooks, but Hill was there to take it away.
Emily Ryan just a little bit impatient. You know, if you allow Audie Crooks a little bit of time to get down and get her position, you can deliver it.
Hutcherson gets it back to Chia with the shot clock in single digits. Picked up her dribble. Now Emily Ryan with the breakaway. And she missed it, but great hustle by her teammate Kelsey Jones to pick her up.
Addie Brown has been outstanding in this 3rd quarter, knocks down a big-time 3 to give the Cyclones some momentum, and then follows it up with an easy deuce.
We are back, and look who's in the building. Hannah Hidalgo, we will see her and Notre Dame play Friday afternoon against Stephen F. Austin. And the winner of this game gets Michigan. That's Cassandra Prosper as well, a teammate. And look at the Michigan Wolverines all fired up. They're going to play the winner of this game on Friday morning. Kim Barnes-Arico bringing in a terrific freshman class. And Michigan getting back into the tournament. And meanwhile, Iowa State outscoring Princeton by 10 in this quarter after they scored only 25 points in the first half, their 3rd lowest scoring half of the season.
Well, it's been a game of runs. Iowa State started the ball game on a run. Princeton went on the big one in the 2nd quarter, and the Cyclones, after I'm sure a spirited locker room conversation, came out to set the tone in the 3rd.
And Coach Fenley gave a great pregame talk. I would imagine the halftime talk was maybe a little bit different inflection and emphasis, but they came out with a different mindset. And Chia with the miss. They're not getting many second chances now. Princeton led by as many as 15. Addie Brown, short but fouled. So Addie Brown will beat the free throw line when we come back.
Iowa State coming out of the locker room in this 2nd half and going straight to the bread and butter, their interior post presence. Audie Crooks goes to work and Addie Brown goes to work. I mean, these two complement each other so well, and Addie Brown's ability to play inside, outside, so when Audie Crooks goes to the bench, Addie Brown goes to the block, and vice versa.
Addie and Audie, what a pair they have become here for Iowa State. Both of them are sophomores, and in this quarter, Iowa State really taking advantage of Princeton turnovers. They have 7 points off 4 Tiger turnovers, turning things around after a shaky 2nd quarter.
Well, Pam, as a pair, they average 38 points and 15 rebounds a game, and certainly when you think about the Iowa State teams of the past, we think about three-point shooting, right? Spreading the floor, and there's Addie Brown's family. Her sister Kennedy played at Duke most recently. Mother played at Michigan State. But when you think about those teams, and Bill Finley said, like, we had to go back to work and figure out how to play with a true post player. We have not had one of those in a number of years.
It is now a one-point game. Princeton led by 15 at the start of this quarter. The three, the drought continues. Princeton's missed 7 straight shots, and now the Cyclones can take the lead. And they do just that with Brown, who hits 20.
Addie Brown had 41 in a first-round win in the Big 12 tournament against Arizona State. She can fill it up, and I love the way that Bill Finley uses her, moves her around, gets her scoring in a lot of different ways.
She's hit 5 threes in that 41-point effort.
And it was interesting talking to Coach Finley about her, because he said she reminds me a lot of Bridget Carlton, and Bridget Carlton has certainly went on to have an outstanding pro career. She continues to do so, and Emily Ryan gets on the board.
Her first basket of the game.
And this is a great take. I mean, she has the matchup that she wants. The help is late. The leader of this team, the vocal leader, the emotional leader, and you can see it in her face.
Working through some injuries this year. Boy, Bill Finley had nothing but praise for her. And look at this company with these numbers. Sabrina and Caitlin Clark. Now, the one caveat, Ryan got an extra year. This is her 5th year, but that's incredible company.
It sure is. It sure is. And she has been the heart and soul of this program for 5 seasons.
Princeton still ice cold. And Hill able to stick her hands in and tie it up so the ball stays with Princeton. Parker Hill is senior from Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. First year only played about 4 minutes a game and now works her way into a full-time starter. What might be her last collegiate game. Now, Princeton hit the first shot they took in this quarter. Since then, they've missed 9 in a row.
Oh, and it's hurting Princeton that Sky Belker is struggling from the floor. They really need her production on the offensive end.
Crooks, a rare miss inside. And Belker, averaging 13 points, only has 3. Has missed 9 of her 10 field goal attempts. There she is. Guarded by Jones. It's a screen from Hill, but then Crooks gets in her way. Princeton needs a shot. It's Hill, and it breaks, finally, a drought. It was an 0 for 10 field goal drought. Brown got it blocked.
Oh, this is terrific patience by Princeton, and sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, you tend to rush, and Parker Hill gets 2 right there, and what a block by Charles. Uses that length.
Taylor Charles, 6'2", junior. Brown backing her right up.
It's just great patience. I mean, Addie Brown didn't rush when she saw potential double coming. She stayed poised, she read it. When the stunt went away, she went to work.
Hill almost taken away by Ryan. They need a shot. Just tipped to the front of the rim. Crooks. Iowa State has 25 points in this quarter. They scored 25 points in the entire first half. Jackson called for the foul. Tall comes in for Charles. Tall has not scored in this half, had 10 at the break. 17-2 run. Chia didn't even look to turn the corner, and a foul on a three-point attempt by Tall. Jackson with the foul with just about 5.5 seconds left to go.
Well, you mentioned that Fadima Tall hasn't scored in this half. Neither has Ashley Chia. Iowa State has done a much better job of keeping her in front, of staying connected.
This has been, as you mentioned, a game of runs, extended runs, and you see the point differential. Princeton led by as many as 15 at the beginning of this quarter. Tall got all three of them. Emily Ryan to close out the quarter, and it goes in! Ryan just beats the buzzer. The scorcher of the third quarter for the Cyclones. Welcome back to South Bend, and yes, Audie Crooks certainly is her. Had a great third quarter, as did Iowa State, outscoring Princeton 27-9, as you see. And they lead by 5 in this first 4 game, the first of every single game in this NCAA tournament that you will be seeing on ESPN. The winner of this game gets Michigan Friday morning, and then our host school, Notre Dame, takes on Stephen F. Austin. The Lady Jacks and Audie Crooks had quite a third quarter. As did her teammates, Pam Ward and Stephanie White, joining you. First time these two teams have ever played a women's basketball game against each other. Emily Ryan with a shot, a driving bucket to beat the buzzer to end the third quarter. And another block. Princeton's had a ton of them in this game. That's Hutcherson again. It's over. Crooks gets it there.
Absolutely right, Pam. She gets it in that position. It's over.
Crooks and Brown doing most of the damage offensively for the Cyclones. And Princeton doing a good job of drawing the foul. That's Tall who go to the free throw line.
I mean, it's just too easy when Audie Crooks gets that deep of position, gets around the rim. She's so efficient in her finishing ability when she gets there. She understands where she is, understands how to use the glass.
That was the third foul on Addie Brown. Audie Crooks now 66 straight games in which she has scored in double figures. That's a record at Iowa State, breaking Angie Welly's record.
And Angie Welly was the last true post player Bill Finley said that they had as well. It's been a minute. Great execution. Great execution. You can't guard that. The post-to-post action, the high-low. You can't switch. You got to chase her. Addie Brown gets a shot.
.20 paint points in the second half. for Iowa State. Belker finally gets one to fall. She had an early basket and since then has really struggled.
Yeah, that's big time. Princeton really needed that. Scott Belker really needed that.
Now 2 of 11 from the floor. Belker averaging 13 points per game. But they can't stop Audie.
And you can't trade buckets. Like you can if it's threes for twos, but it's got to be a little bit more pressure on the ball, make that pass a little bit more difficult. Got Flood a little bit on the backside.
Crooks got in front of Belker, who somehow was able to get creative to get around and get the bucket. Crooks working on Hill, makes it look so easy.
She does, and I think Parker Hill's getting a little tired. Yeah. You know, one of the things that it's difficult to guard one-on-one and to guard Audie Crooks one-on-one. I think that Iowa State's probably surprised they've not seen any doubles. But Parker Hill's ability to not get sealed, to use her movement and her athleticism to get around and make it difficult, she has not been able to do that in this second half.
Paul goes inside. Her tough bucket. Audie Crooks has 8 points in this quarter. Scored 8 points in less than about 3 minutes. Yeah, that's a lot to put on Hill, on any player, to try to stop Crooks one-on-one. Brown tried to get it in to Audie.
Yeah, she's going to need a break here before too long. You can see the fatigue.
Emily Ryan with the breakaway.
Emily Ryan had 2 turnovers and a missed layup, and you could see the frustration, visibly see the frustration. Bill Finley takes her out, gets her a break, and she has been instrumental in this fourth quarter.
5th-year senior with her name all over the Iowa State record books. Tapped out by Hutcherson. Belker lost it. Here's Jackson. End to end, tall. Goes right at Crooks and hits it as Audie hits the deck, and she looks like she's a little shaken up.
Looks like Audie Crooks gets her feet tied up, and when she falls, may have hit her head on the floor.
No foul called on the play. Audie staying in the game. It looked like you're right, that she might have just tripped herself out. Bill Finley wondering why there was no foul call.
I think he wanted a foul call on the other end when Ariana Jackson went in for her layup. Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact.
Walking the ball up as we approach 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Ryan takes a dive. Jackson, short. And Chia trying to get her club in order. Chia has not scored in the second half, had 15 in the first. Emily Ryan just relentless. And a timeout taken by Carla Berube before another Princeton turnover. Princeton down to Iowa State. Welcome back. First 4 game here in the Regional 3 Birmingham. Princeton up by 15 at the beginning of the second half. But Audie and Addie combining for 45 points in this game. Ashley Chia has only taken 2 shots in the second half, and the paint points are big time Iowa State.
Yeah, 26 points in the paint in the second half for Iowa State. Of course, you knew that they had the ability and the potential to be dominant on the interior, as they have all season long. And just not able to sustain the defensive effort on Audie Crooks on the interior.
In the second half, Crooks and Brown are outscoring Princeton by themselves, 25-19.
And we talked in the open about how important Sky Belker and Ashley Chia were going to be on both ends of the floor, but especially offensively, and they have not been able to get it going in this second half.
Ryan with another rebound. He did not score in the first half. In and out for Harris. Princeton, one of 3 Ivy League schools to get into the tournament, along with Ivy tournament champion Harvard and Columbia, who will play in the first 4 game tomorrow. And it's Princeton with 3 of the 4 wins in the entire history of the Ivy League and women's basketball in the NCAA tournament. 6 straight years they've gone. The expectations a little lower this year because they lost so much talent last year. They've relied on a lot of underclassmen who did not play much last year. 21 wins for Carla Berube will be the fewest wins she has ever had. Her 6th year at Princeton, 7 years at Tufts. Not even close to having a losing record in any of those seasons. Hutcherson, a little bit too strong. And Emily Ryan ends up in the Princeton bench trying to get the rebound. She still has not scored in this half. Got a decent look.
And you're going to see Audie Crooks get a touch nearly every time down the floor right now. Here in the 2-man, nobody comes up to help. Emily Ryan has been really good in this 4th.
All the Iowa State fans getting on their feet. Good showing. A lot of family members in attendance. Hutcherson turned around and Ryan was right there. Timeout taken by Coach Fenley with all 3s left on the board. Let's go back a couple of years. St. Patrick's Day in 2023. Princeton taking on NC State in Salt Lake City. Isaiah James with a layup. So they had an 8-point lead, but here comes Princeton. Grace Stone with the 3-pointer. Then Caitlin Chen, now playing for UConn, makes it a 2-point ball game. And then Stone wins it. With 7 seconds left, number 10 seed Princeton with the upset over NC State.
Well, a Princeton team and a Princeton program that's used to being in the NCAA tournament, that's used to playing in these environments, they have struggled at times when they have had the lead throughout the course of this season. Not atypical for a young team, really, at times, but Iowa State, I love the timeout by Bill Fenley. He got exactly what he wanted. Audie Crooks not able to convert right there, but they have been so good in after timeout execution.
Iowa State's missed their last 6 shots, but Princeton has had trouble scoring since their 27-point second quarter. Belker, way too strong. Boarded by Harris. Brooks post up after she set the screen.
There's nothing you can do when she gets it. The denial on the pass back. Like if you deny that pass back or make Addie Brown catching it 3 or 4 more feet beyond the three-point line. The disruption on the perimeter has not been there.
Belker gets the 3 to fall. Her second of the game.
Early in the ball game, we were seeing an awful lot of ball pressure from Princeton in the passing lanes, not allowing Iowa State to catch around the three-point line. We're not seeing that in this second half.
Right now, Princeton can make it a 2-point ball game or a 1-possession game as we approach 2 minutes to go.
This is really good execution. That pass back is too easy. Addie Crooks is going to get position, and if she gets it down there, game over.
Crooks 12 of 21 from the floor, which is not good for her, actually. Hitting on 60% of her shots during the season. Big 3, in and out for Belker.
Princeton's had some good looks. They have not been able to get them to fall, both Belker and Ashley Chia.
You see Crooks doing most of the damage in the fourth quarter. Brown to Crooks, turns, and she got hit by Hill. How about this? That's the first foul on Parker Hill, who has done most of the defending on Crooks. The seniors on this team, honorable mention, all Ivy this year, after just 10 starts last year. Only 12 fouls have been called in this game combined for both teams.
I love a game like that, Pam.
Keep it going. Crooks gets them both. And there you see, that second quarter was bad for every Cyclone. They only scored 7 points. 6-point advantage. But Crooks is all over Hill. No foul call, but you got the bucket.
And Parker Hill was in the lane for a long time as well.
That's true. It was quite
it neutralized.
There was a lot going on there. Princeton needs a stop as we go inside a minute. Ryan looks up at the clock. On the switch, they have a mismatch with Brown underneath, but Ryan took it in by herself. Emily Ryan, the senior, coming up big in the fourth quarter.
All 9 points for Emily Ryan in this second half, and what a great job she's done managing this team. That is a tough off-foot finish for Emily Ryan. We mentioned that she is the heart and soul of this team, of this program. Bill Finley got a little emotional talking with us in shoot-around today about what she's meant to this program, and she's laying it all out there.
Talked about how much he's going to miss her, a throwback, and what was the line? Everything old school is not bad school.
Yes.
She's old school in the best possible way, and yeah, he can't imagine not having her. 5th-year senior, and boy, for her, a very atypical first half, a slow start, she's really turned it on.
She has, and she took that break when Bill Finley subbed her out after a frustration and has come back and has been locked in ever since, and you can see it in her eyes.
Iowa State, that one loss in their last 5 NCAA appearances was a couple of years ago when they were upset by Toledo in Knoxville. Good comeback. Again, they were down by 15 points early in the third quarter. The winner gets Michigan bright and early on Friday. Belker. inside. And the three is just missing. And a foul call as Tall was able to get into the lane.
Well, I like the lineup that Iowa State comes out with, a small lineup so they can switch everything, try to guard the three-point line. Princeton just really struggling to put the ball in the hole in this fourth quarter.
Taking up a lot of time on that shot clock. Foul was on Williams, who goes out. Crooks back in. Lima Tall, part of the 4 starting sophomores for Princeton. Bill Fenley has 4 starting sophomores himself. Tall with the free throw. With 19 points, which is one off her career high. She had 20 in a game at Penn earlier this year. With the timeout taken, just under 21 seconds left to go. Well, there is your reset. What do you think Princeton has to do right now?
Well, you got to foul. I mean, you got to try to get a steal on the inbound, get a 5-second call. Iowa State has timeouts. You got to foul, but there's a lot of fouls to give, right? So they've got to be quick. You can't waste time. Yeah, it's a 2-possession ball game, so you've got to find a way to extend, and that's got to be quick fouls. And if you're Iowa State, there's not a ton of pressure to get the ball in bounds because you know you have timeouts. You've got Emily Ryan, the 5th-year senior, taking the ball out of bounds. She's been in these situations.
And Crooks was standing in the backcourt unguarded. And finally, they get the foul. It was too easy to get the ball in, but as you mentioned,
and too much time.
Yeah, way too much.
Just a lack of communication defensively, not knowing the matchups.
It's the 2nd foul on Princeton. And somehow nothing was called there, and Princeton gets the ball. They need the 3. Oh, and it goes out. Sky Belker had it halfway in, and it just spun out.
It has been that kind of night for Sky Belker. Got a great look. I mean, this was down and just came right back out.
Belker with 11 points, but has missed 13 of her 17 shots, and she's had at least a couple more of those where they spun out, but that was the most egregious.
It sure was. And she's had some good looks,
yeah.
You know. And
we have a clock malfunction. That play is under review.
We'll take a look and make sure the clock is where it should be. Addie comes from a basketball family. There they are. Making the trip from Derby, Kansas. Coach Finley talked about Brown, how important she was. You mentioned that reminds her of Bridget Carlton.
yes,
Kid who's very focused, very mature beyond her years. Iowa State relying on a lot of youth. Well, Belker's heartbreaker. The clock. Looking at the clock.
The game clock froze at 7.2 for 0.9 seconds. The game clock will be adjusted to 3 seconds flat.
All right, so Brenda Antoja, Tom Danaher, Lee Mullen have been our officials tonight. That was Brenda. And the Cyclones just 3 seconds away from a date with Michigan. Michigan team has left the building. They were here for most of the game. Brown catches it, fouled with just under a second left to go, and the Cyclones will advance. We will see them again on Friday morning.
Princeton had so many fouls to give, 3 fouls to give, that we're still not shooting free throws right now. But what an effort by the Princeton Tigers and the Iowa State Cyclones around their sophomore interior presence. Big time win.
Iowa State takes it 68-63. Let's check out how Iowa State is moving on, brought to you by United Airlines, where they will take on Michigan, trying to get yet another win and move on through this Regional 3 in Birmingham. So we can update the bracket. This was the first game for March Madness in 2025. And Iowa State has advanced. We will see you on ESPN2 at 11:30 Eastern time on Friday. That's 10:30 in the morning in Iowa, followed by Notre Dame and Stephen F. Austin. Louisville, Nebraska, TCU, Fairleigh Dickinson get things started on Friday.
Congratulations on the win. What does it mean for you guys to get Coach Finley his 800 victory as we see these 800 signs?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, he works so hard. He puts everything into it. He's the hardest working guy I know, so it means a lot that we can get him this favor and keep moving in March.
22 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. What was working for you today?
I just had to, stay in the game, stay in the present. Rough half, or first half was rough, but we stayed with it, and I just, found the looks for my team. And Audie was cooking in the second half, so I got her the ball.
What is it like for you when Audie does get cooking?
It's pretty easy for me. I mean, she works super hard inside, so as soon as she came out here in the second half, I knew what it was going to be, and we went from there.
Congratulations on the win. Thank you.
Next step. And congratulations to Bill Fenley, who now has 800 career wins. Again, only Gino Auriemma and Westmore over at NC State have more wins among active coaches. We will see them and you on Friday morning when they take on Michigan. For Stephanie White, I'm Pam Ward. Let's get you back to the studio.